In 2021, Mercedes committed €40 billion to saving itself. Not because they didn't see the threat coming, they did. Their own executives said so on shareholder calls, in press releases, in strategy documents. They hired the right engineers, they announced the right plan, they committed real money. The numbers fell anyway. This is not the story of a company that got caught off guard. This is the story of why knowing something is happening and being able to stop it are two completely different things. Go back to 1886. Carl Benz files a patent in Mannheim for what most historians consider the world's first true automobile. For the next century, if you wanted to understand what a car could be, the engineering, the materials, the feel, you looked to Germany. That heritage didn't just become a marketing slogan, it became the product. When someone bought an E-Class in 1995, they weren't buying transportation. They were buying an idea. That German precision represented the highest expression of what a car could be. The idea worked. 9 consecutive record years, 2.4 million cars sold in 2019 alone. Then a different idea emerged, from somewhere Stuttgart wasn't watching at all. NIO is a company most Europeans had never heard of in 2019. Today, their ES8 SUV lands in Germany at roughly the same price as a well-specced Mercedes GLE. But the ES8 isn't trying to be a better version of the GLE. It's competing for something else entirely. The dashboard is a 12.8-inch screen flanked by a second display for the passenger. The car receives software updates overnight, like a phone. New features appear every few weeks, features that didn't exist when the car was manufactured. When NIO customers were surveyed about why they chose it over a German alternative, technology experience ranked first. Price ranked fourth. That's the shift Mercedes misread. The competition was never about being cheaper. It was about redefining what luxury means in a world built around software. For a century, luxury meant the object, the leather, the badge, the mechanical precision. What Chinese manufacturers understood is that for a 35-year-old in Munich or Shanghai or Oslo, luxury increasingly means the experience inside the object. And on that dimension, a company that has been engineering combustion engines since 1902 is not naturally well positioned. Mercedes understood this. That's the important part. In 2019, they announced a full pivot to electric. In 2021, they committed €40 billion to electrification and software. They hired engineers from Apple, Google, and Tesla. Their CEO said explicitly, "We are transforming from a car manufacturer to a software-driven luxury company." By 2024, their EQ electric line accounted for less than 11% of total sales. Many models were selling at a discount. So what went wrong? Mercedes didn't have a strategy problem. They had a structure problem. And those two things require completely different solutions. There's one variable in this story that almost never gets discussed in Western coverage, and it's probably the most important one. Between 2015 and 2023, Chinese EV manufacturers sold over 20 million electric vehicles domestically. That's not a market, that's a laboratory. Every edge case, every software failure, every unexpected user behavior worked through at scale before a single vehicle crossed into Europe. By the time NIO or BYD enters a new market, they're not shipping a first-generation product. They're shipping something pressure-tested by millions of real-world users across every road condition, climate zone, and driving pattern in the world's largest country. This is the kind of discovery that becomes possible when you have 20 million cars reporting data in real time. You find out how people actually use a product, not how they said they would in a focus group. Behavior that no one anticipated in a boardroom in Shanghai gets documented, iterated on, and shipped as a feature before anyone in Stuttgart even knows the pattern exists. NIO has released 4 major hardware generations since 2018, each one built on lessons from the last. Mercedes released the EQS in 2021, technically impressive, But by the time it reached customers, the software experience was already trailing by at least one generation. When you're moving faster and you have more data, the gap doesn't close, it widens. Now here's the part Mercedes cannot solve by hiring better people or spending more money. Mercedes employs 168,000 people globally. The majority of those jobs are built around internal combustion, engine assembly, transmission manufacturing, exhaust systems, fuel injection. Retooling those workers and those supply chains takes years, not quarters. German labor law requires that major restructuring be negotiated with works councils. That's not obstruction, it's governance, but it is slow. Then there's the dealer network, 10,000 authorized dealerships worldwide. Each one is an independently owned business that has invested tens of millions of dollars into facilities and staff trained on the existing product line. Moving to a direct sales model the way Tesla operates would mean buying out or alienating a global network built over decades. And underneath all of this is the brand itself. Mercedes has spent 100 years telling the world that what they make is the finest expression of traditional automotive engineering. You cannot simply reposition that same audience around software. The messaging creates dissonance. Some customers just stop listening. NIO was founded in 2014. They have never built a combustion engine, no dealers to protect, no legacy workforce to retrain, no century of messaging to walk back. When they want to ship a new feature, they write code. When Mercedes wants to ship a new feature, they navigate a system that was never designed to move at software speed. The very capabilities that made Mercedes dominant for a century became the constraints that prevent them from competing in this one. None of this means Mercedes is going bankrupt. But the right question isn't will they survive? It's what kind of company can they realistically be in 2035? The honest answer points in a direction their shareholders won't love. The path forward is not to win the software war in the segment where Chinese manufacturers are strongest. That's the 50,000 to 80,000 euro bracket, exactly where NIO, Li Auto, and BYD's premium lines are most aggressive. That's where Mercedes has the least durable advantage. The durable advantage is at the very top. Consider the G-Wagon, a body design unchanged in its essential proportions since 1979. A waiting list measured in years, a base price north of 150,000 euros. No Chinese manufacturer is credibly competing there, not because of engineering, but because of something that takes generations to build. The unquestioned sense that this specific object represents the apex of a certain kind of civilization. That authority cannot be manufactured quickly, and it cannot be copied. The strategic bet that actually has a probability of working is radical concentration. Fewer models, higher prices, a deliberate, honest exit from the segments where software iteration speed matters more than heritage. It's a painful transition, smaller revenues, fewer jobs, a fundamental redefinition of what the company is. The G-Wagon plant in Graz, Austria, has been making that vehicle since 1979. The workers there have spent their careers building the same body on the same lines to increasingly exacting standards. That accumulated knowledge, that specific craftsmanship, is not replaceable by software. It's not scalable, and that's precisely what makes it valuable. The companies that won't survive this transition aren't the ones that couldn't see the threat. Most of them could see it perfectly clearly.